Well, first day I got kicked out.
You know, my agent called and said, "Hey, Cubs just selected you." I was like, "Yeah, I just saw it." So we used to have to look on the internet.
Yeah. We never seen a paper nail. I didn't know if it was nails in it or not. You know,
got me chills with that. Wow. What?
Did you even think you were going to make the team?
no.
Jersey doesn't really fit me. There's no name on my jersey.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Dan Hoard. Welcome to the Let's Rain podcast presented by Cincy Light, Cincinnati's light beer. We come to you from the LLH Healthcare Studio. It's been a great year for the UC football team, and one of the biggest reasons why is one of two guys who wears the number 11. It's Joe Royer on offense. It's our guest, Jake Golday, on defense. He's been one of the best linebackers, not only in the Big 12, but in all of college football. And on this episode of the pod, you're going to hear an interesting story about the assistant coach who went to great lengths to make sure that Jake Golday would transfer to Cincinnati from Central Arkansas. You're going to like the conversation, and afterward, don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe. Before we get into my conversation, here's a reminder that the University of Cincinnati Online gives you the triple option: flexibility, connection, and impact. Balance life and learning while working with instructors, peers, and professionals who help you level up. Discover your Bearcat path today at online.uc.edu. An opportunity to spend some time with one of 12 nominees for the Butkus Award, which goes to the best linebacker in college football, UC senior Jake Golday. At this time next year, I feel very confident in saying you will be playing in the NFL. If I had said that like 3 or 4 years ago, what would your reaction have been?
Man, I would have been ecstatic. It's been a dream ever since I was a kid, but just till recently, it's really been like a thing that's going to happen, a thing that's like in my future. So yeah, that kid, I guess wouldn't be a kid, but that guy a couple years ago would be extremely excited about that.
I think if I were you, I would have a hard time not reading every draft guru out there, every draft expert. Mel Kiper, in October at least, had you listed, I think, as the 4th best linebacker on his board. I just saw today Dane Brugler from The Athletic has you as a top 50 draft pick. Do you have the discipline not to just constantly be looking online and see where you stand?
So I don't look at it at all.
Good for
myself. You. I don't look at it at all. I don't like to pay any attention to it because it can change like in a snap.
Right.
Only thing that I want to look at and pay attention to is how the team's doing as a whole and how I can help the team every single week. But I will say my dad, he's checking it every single day.
Can't blame
and when I'm talking to him on the phone, he'll be like, "This guy said this," and I'm just like, "That's good to hear," and everything. That's encouraging. That makes me want to work even harder.
Yeah.
But job's not finished. I still got a lot of work to do.
You'll have time in the spring.
Yes, sir.
To look at every draft guru out there.
Yes, sir.
Let's turn the clock back a little bit. You were kind of a rush end at Central Arkansas. How difficult was it to make the transition to being an off-ball linebacker like you are now?
It honestly went pretty smoothly. So in high school, I played kind of like a rush in / hybrid outside linebacker, like bandit type position. And I felt really comfortable in that role. I got brought up to varsity my freshman year, so I played it for 4 years in high school. But I also was like growing at a rapid rate. My body I was all out of whack, very uncoordinated. And then the next year, and then I got to college and played straight just DN. Like everyone else in my position group had their hand in the dirt. I was a stand-up DN, but everybody else was like hand in the dirt. And that's something I wasn't used to. I learned how to play with my hand in the dirt a little bit when I needed to, but for the most part, I was just stand-up DN, rushing off the edge. It wasn't the position that I wanted to be in, really. I felt like I could always do more. We got the new defensive coordinator to come in. I'll always be thankful for Coach Stacks. He moved me to linebacker, and it was like a new love for the game. It was like immediate, like I could move sideline to sideline, make plays, also put me on the edge, and I'll be able to rush the passer because I developed those skills from earlier on in my career. So it was a pretty flawless switch over to linebacker. other than just like the scheme of things and how things fit out. And then at linebacker, you got to know what the D line's doing. You got to know what the guys behind you are doing. And at D end, I was just go get the run or quarterback. So it changed a little bit.
Why Central Arkansas initially and not a bigger college football program?
Well, I wanted to get my school paid for. That was my biggest goal. I didn't want my parents to have to pay for my school. My brother got his school paid for. He was a basketball player and went to play at Tennessee Tech, so I wanted to follow my brother's footsteps by getting my school paid for as well. And being from, like, I guess not a small school in terms of people, just a small football school in Arlington, high school. I didn't get really noticed at a high school very much, so I took pretty much what I had within Central Arkansas, and I developed great relationships with those coaches in the recruiting process. I had a bunch of FCS offers, and then I had Air Force. That was my best offer, but I ended up not wanting to take that route. So I ended up going to Central Arkansas, and it was a great decision. I wouldn't take anything back. They developed me like well there. I had met many friends, even friends that are going to be my wedding coming up. Wouldn't take anything back, and I'm just glad I have the opportunity now to play at the big level that I always dreamed of playing at.
So when you entered the transfer portal, what was the initial contact like from schools?
It was pretty wild as soon as I entered the portal. But I will say, Coach Braz, like, he did an amazing job recruiting me. He's an amazing human being. He came to Central Arkansas. I was in the transfer portal for a week, and he came to Central Arkansas 3 times, which is like in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, Conway, Arkansas. Came to Central Arkansas 3 times to have dinner with me. He would come in 1 week. He would come in, he'd fly in. I kind of gave him a little tour campus, and he's like, man, we got it nice up here. Not saying that this is anything bad, but he's like, man, you're going to love Cincinnati when you get the chance to come up here. And I was like, yes, sir. Well, I'd love the opportunity to come take a visit or whatnot. But he would come in for dinner and then fly out the same night, or he'd come in for dinner, stay the night, fly out early in the morning. But I ended up taking the visit to Cincinnati and just fell in love with the entire coaching staff. But I have to give a huge shout out to Coach Braz, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd be here, because he did such a great job recruiting me and just showing me the love from day one.
That's amazing. I'd never heard that story before. I have heard that they thought that you were the best available linebacker in the transfer portal, the entire transfer portal that year. Did they communicate that to you, or did you learn that after the fact?
I think that was kind of something that got developed after the fact. Okay. Because I know they had there's a lot of other linebackers in the transfer portal, maybe not as many as, like, I know I entered the portal in the spring, so there's not as many guys that enter the portal in the spring. But looking back on it now, that is something I definitely realized that I probably was the best linebacker. But I don't think that came out until after our first couple games. For me, at least, for my knowledge, I didn't think that came out until a couple games, and they realized who I could be at this level. At first, it was kind of like, we're taking a risk on this guy, I felt like. But they didn't show me that at all. Okay. They distilled all the confidence in the world in me, gave me an awesome position to be in. Coach Vite in this defense, like, I feel like I fit perfectly in it.
You have worked closely with Nico Palizzetti, the strength and conditioning coordinator. He told me this earlier this year, quote, "You are a human being version of a Labrador retriever." And by that, he means happy-go-lucky, never has a bad day. Just, your trusty dog that's always excited to see you. Do you take that as a compliment?
Yeah, I do. He told me, he tells some scouts every now and then that and off the field, I'm like a Labrador retriever. I'm always happy-go-lucky, like you said. But then when I get on the field, I'm like a Rottweiler. I like that description a little better, because when I do get on the field, it's like a flip switches for me, and I try to be a little more aggressive. And I feel like you have to at this position and this sport that we play. So I do like that description. I feel like I am trying to always be the nice guy and try to lead guys in the right direction. And I always have a smile on my face, because I love to come to work every single day being around these guys. I mean, there's not a better job in the world. So I always will be happy with where I'm at. And and then just the fact that you're throwing the Rottweiler when I go out there on the field makes it that much better.
I think that second half of that anecdote is important. I will include that going forward. You mentioned your older brother who played college hoops. Both of your parents played college hoops. Why did football become your sport as opposed to following in their footsteps?
I think it was just my love for the game, and all my best friends pretty much played football too. So it was like that competitive, like I want to be the best football player. Obviously wanted to be the best basketball player as well. That's why I played both up until my senior year. But football, you could just tell from day one that football was my sport. I guess you could say, a little more physical, more violent than like my brother was growing up. I always wanted to like get into things, and I was like always wanting to, like, when I'd go to football practice, I was always the big hitter, even though I was a smaller kid. It took me a while to grow. My brother was already tall, like in the 6th grade. It took me a while to get there. But that being said, like I just always had that like underdog, like chip on my shoulder, wanted to get in there. And then basketball, I just always loved basketball. I never was the greatest basketball player. I was more like a role player type guy. I was good enough to, like, when I was a freshman, I got brought up to varsity, but I wasn't given like crucial minutes on varsity. And then by my junior year, I earned like all district honors and stuff like that. And I had Division II offers to go play basketball, but I was way better at football. So that's when I made the ultimate decision. I love football more. It's not that I didn't love basketball, but I just love football. I had a little more like passion towards football, and I was better at football. So that was the ultimate decision. I knew I was going to get my school paid for, and I was going to be able to play at the highest level available for me at that time. And then a bunch of people saw future in football for me, and I saw that future laid out for me as well. And now I'm kind of living out that future. So
you chose wisely. I think it's safe to say you chose wisely. There's a reporter for The Athletic, Bruce Feldman, who comes out with his freaks list every year. These are supposedly the top 100 athletic freaks in all of college football. You were number 48 on the list this year. They gave some of your measurables 4.24 shuttle time, which would have been better than any linebacker in the draft last year. You've run faster than 22 miles an hour. You get a 36-inch vertical. What was your reaction to being included on that list? Because this is something that people like me look forward to every year. Wow, is Cincinnati going to have a guy on the list? There are actually 3 Bearcats on the list this year.
Yeah, I'm just blessed and honored to be in a list with those guys. I've always considered myself a pretty athletic guy, but I didn't realize that I'd be up to the standard of the freaks list. So just saying my name on that list with all those other guys was pretty cool. And that just shows you like the work that I put in with Coach Nico and my training staff back at Central Arkansas. Like, I wasn't always this athletically, or I was always pretty athletically gifted, but I've definitely worked towards the numbers that I'm at now. And that's definitely a testament to Coach Nico, because when I got here, I was not bench pressing is what I wasn't jumping what I was. He's increased everything. I've gotten bigger, faster, and stronger since I've been here. So shout out Coach Nico.
And I should give some love to Dante Corleone and Jeff Caldwell.
Yes, those
who also
guys
made the freaks list.
And they're freak athletes.
No doubt. We're in the NIL era. Cincinnati is taking care of its best players, as every school should. But there are other schools out there that are throwing money around. There's no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. This is your second year at Cincinnati. Were you tempted to leave for a more lucrative offer?
No, I really wasn't in it for the money. I knew this is where I wanted to be. It was a great position for me. Like I said, I have a great relationship with Coach Braz. He ended up helping me out with my NIL and got me a little more than I had last year, which was huge for me. I wasn't asking for a ridiculous amount or anything like that. But the money wasn't what I was in it for. It was to come play at the highest level and to compete and to be able to win games is what I wanted to do. I know if I didn't take a huge amount, we could have money left over to spend for other guys. So that was something that was pretty important for me. And like I said, I didn't want to go anywhere. It was a perfect fit for me. This is my last year. I want to give it everything I had. So I just put my focus on being the best version of myself, and my ultimate end goal for my personal self is to make it to the NFL, and this is the perfect place for that.
You're from Arlington, Tennessee, which isn't far from Memphis. Your first college stop was Conway, Arkansas. That's where Central Arkansas is. What's it been like for you to be in a city, to be living and playing college football in Cincinnati?
It's definitely cool. There's plenty of stuff to do when I do have free time, which like in the off season, because in the season I'm pretty much consumed with football, and I love it that way. But it's cool. There's tons of stuff to do, a lot of great food. I'd say me personally, since I've always been used to like the suburban country kind of areas, that's kind of more my speed.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see myself when I'm ready to settle down, I'll go back to that kind of thing. But while I'm young, like I am enjoying living in the city. It's fun. And I've never been to a campus that's literally like right in the middle of the city. It's pretty cool. And I wasn't expecting when I got here. So it was awesome.
We are having this conversation with 3 games left in the regular season. The Bearcats are one of 3 teams in the league that only has one Big 12 loss. So you've got a legitimate chance to make it to Dallas for the Big 12 championship game. People have been talking about that since the first day of spring football. You set that goal. Let's go to Dallas
Yes, sir.
and play for a Big 12 championship. It's obviously realistic now. Did it seem realistic when you guys started talking about it, or was it this pipe dream that maybe if everything falls in place, we can achieve?
No, I think we all, when we set that goal, we weren't setting that goal just to mess around and maybe we'll make it to Dallas. I think we knew, we had the confidence and we knew the talent we had on this team. And we know the talent we had on the team last year that was also returning for us this year. And that was only getting better, more developed in the strength room and the offseason and everything. I think that was a goal that we set in place because we know we can get there, and we know we can get there still, and we will get there. I mean, I can't make that promise, but us confidently, like we are confident in ourselves. We know that we are capable of, if we do everything right, that we will make it to Dallas. So no doubt we made that statement because we know we can get there. And now, more important than ever, it's take it one day at a time. Coach Nico likes to say, like, your daily goals, like or daily focus for your weekly goal. And our weekly goal is to win this week. Daily focus is to get better at your craft today, get in the film room, do whatever you have to do just to get 1% better each and every day so that we can come away with a victory this weekend.
You dropped a wedding reference earlier on the podcast. You are engaged
Yes, sir.
to a nurse in the area. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's a nurse at Cincinnati Children's.
And when is the big day?
June 27th.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You'll have a break between NFL camps or right around that time?
It'll be, it's they told me I scheduled it good, but it is going to be a super busy part of my life, but I will have, that week will be a dead week pretty much. So I'll be good to go for the week.
You timed it well. Congratulations on that. And on 2 great years as a Bearcat. It's been fun to watch. Best of luck the rest of this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.